What is up, Duelist Arts and Crafts here, bringing you your daily dose of Yu-Gi-Oh! GOAT format action. Today's feature match, we've got Edison Smurf versus Viffer. As always, both players rated in the top 200 of the Dueling Book GOAT format ladder at the time this match was played, and I actually think when this match was played, Edison Smurf might have been top of the ladder, or at least top 3. So someone at the tippy top of the Dueling Book ladder here. We'll see if they can hold on to their crown, or will take the L to a challenger here who's obviously also quite high rated with the 1240 here in Viffer. Looks like Edison Smurf is going to win that RPS. They'll be going first. See what they're playing here. Gonna lead out with a Thunder Dragon, so some good old chaos action for everyone, at least in the red corner. Into good old T-set pass, so thinning the deck a little bit, getting a Light Engrave. Has an early monster. Not the most amazing start you'll ever see, but definitely totally playable. Viffer here opens Delinquent Duo. Now firing it off here when Edison Smurf just has the double TD in hand. This might not be the most valuable Delinquent Duo you'll ever see. I am personally generally a fan of holding Duo when your opponent has 2 Thunder Dragons in hand, because generally you're not going to get that much value. But they could just snipe something randomly. See what they hit. They end up hitting a Tribe Infecting Virus. Okay, so it's a card that's good to know that you don't have to deal with, and then I assume a Thunder Dragon will just hit the grave as well. Oh, and Edison Smurf just has the Sinister Serpent to make it just a clean 1-for-1 with the duo. Yeah, so Edison Smurf with a hand of double TD plus Sinister Serpent. Viffer actually getting super lucky there that they didn't just hit something completely useless. But so at least a little bit of minimal value out of that duo. They did lose 1,000 life for the privilege, but at least you get a little bit of intel into what your opponent's playing. See what you can follow up with. We're going to go Breaker the Magical Warrior. We'll see if Edison Smurf played around turn 1 Breaker, as is common, by setting a Chainable here. Is going to be Ring. Very common turn 1 set if you have it to deal with exactly this scenario. Both players will take 16. Edison Smurf maintains their tempo advantage. And things are looking pretty good for our red player. Viffer's going to send off his own Thunder Dragon as well. This does get Chaos Online, so we could see like a really early BLS. That would be quite strong here, plus and banish the set monster. No guarantee that Viffer has that, though. Just going to set a back row pass, having already used their normal summon. Yeah, so Edison Smurf with that ring, maintaining their tempo advantage. We'll see if they set a real flip. Dekoichi would be really good here. Gravekeeper Spy would be really good here. Can re-grab that Serpent as well. And resolving Dekoichi is quite nice. Get to float for a card and then start pressuring the opponent's life, which is already quite low, thanks to the duo plus ring resolutions that we've seen already. So advanced sort of clockier. Ooh, and Edison Smurf is going to continue to apply pressure here with the breaker. You don't really care about Torrential here, right? Because your Dekoichi already floated, so that would basically just be a 1-for-1. And then if you can pop like a Mirror Force or something and get in for 3,000, you're already, very close to killing your opponent. So I like going aggro here. Popping the Mirror Force, this is huge. You get to hit in for 3,000. Wow, yeah, Edison Smurf off to an insane start here. Resolving the Dekoichi, Breaker clearing out the back row, and Viffer is going to be down to 2,400 life here before their second turn even starts. Facing lethal on board. They do have Chaos live, but their Mirror Force is gone. They've already used Duo. Might not really have too much to stop this, and even if they do, Edison Smurf is going to be in a very good position for the rest of this game 1. Edison Smurf does not have any back row here to protect that, which is a little bit interesting. So Viffer, if you have something to deal with this board, it will probably go through unimpeded. We're going to see Premature Burial. Interesting. So Viffer going for probably the Thunder Dragon here, I guess. It's got a better stat line than the Breaker. And you don't really care about losing the Light Engrave because you have 2 other Thunder Dragons in your hand. So you can just go ahead and beat over the Dekoichi is probably the play, and then threaten to trade off with the Breaker. So trying to stabilize here with Premature on a decently sized monster. It says drop them down to 1,600 life points, which is a little bit spooky. Ooh, and then they have Metamorphosis. Okay, so we're going for a little bit of a combo play here. We're going to Premature the Thunder Dragon, meta it into likely Dark Balter. Yeah, Dark Balter is going to come down. Its effect to negate effect monsters in battle isn't really important to right this second, but it is just a nice 2,000 beater. You do only have 1 activation of its effect to negate spell cards. But I guess at this point, you're so far behind, you need to stabilize. You need some board presence. Thunder Dragon isn't big enough to command the board because it just trades with the Breaker. So basically, just using Metamorphosis to bump up their Thunder Dragon by 400 attack is not the most valuable use of it, but it is at least stemming the aggression a little bit here. Now you probably just clear out the Breaker. Yep, you get in for a little bit of damage, and hope you can sit behind this while you try to stabilize. So it looks like Vipper here must be running Chaos Control with the main deck Metamorphosis and the main deck Premature Burial. Might be on a little Dark Magician of Chaos technology. That's usually what these Premature Burial choices signify. Or they could be running like Abyss Soldier as well, I guess. Although you don't normally see Abyss Soldier in Chaos Control. It's usually a Goat Control special. But anything's possible in Goat format, right? And they haven't used their normal summon yet either, so going to be able to set a card. So 2 decent threats here, trying to stabilize, clinging on to 1600 life. We'll see if Edison Smurf here has a response. Okay, they're going to slam down Chaos Sorcerer. That's a pretty good one. Breaker hitting the grave did turn on Light Dark for Edison Smurf. Viffer, of course, probably didn't have any way to play around that super well. And unfortunately for them, Edison Smurf does have the Chaos Monster to punish. This can just come down, banish the Dark Balter. You probably just attack the Dekoichi into the set as well. No reason really to not. You could also... I wouldn't hate Sork attack the Dark Balter, because you might as well deal 300 damage. It gets them into... Well, I guess you already used Ring, but like 300 damage when they're already at 1600 and they already have a Dark Engrave. Like, you might as well just attack there. Don't really see a reason not to. Unless you need to resolve a spell card. If you have if you're sitting on like Pot of Greed in hand or something, I can definitely see going for this in main phase 1 just so you can resolve it earlier. Yeah, okay, so it's to okay, yeah. So there you go. Summon Sork, banish the Dark Balter, so your knock can resolve, banishing the set monster. And then, well, I guess you don't have game just yet. You would need any normal summon in the deck, basically. But that's probably going to be enough. And, oh yeah, Tribute Summoner Thunder Dragon, yeah. I forgot that they had that in hand, but totally works. Tribute for T-Drag, get in for 16 exactly, and take down game 1 very, very quickly. Very solid, aggressive opening here from Edison Smurf, despite getting hit with the duo, but they had the double TD and the Serpent in hand to protect against it. And it looks like we've got a classic Chaos Turbo versus Chaos Control matchup here. One of the few matchups in the format, although it is a common one, where Chaos Turbo is generally the more aggressive of the two. And they were just very, very solidly aggressive, getting in very early with Dekoichi, Breaker, Ring to deal some extra damage, and then slamming down Sork to clear out the board for the final attack. We will go to game 2 here. Viffer will be able to go first. So they were kind of on the back foot the entire match because Edison Smurf just never really let up the pressure. So hopefully for Viffer, going first here will help them kind of start off on a better foot this game. On this Chaos Control list, they do open Thunder Dragon for the second game in a row, which is pretty nice. So going to thin the deck out a little bit, go up like half a card. TD into Pot is quite nice, so very strong opening hand here for Viffer. Into Duo, wow, yeah, so really, really strong opening play here. Going up a bunch of cards right off the bat. They hit a Jar of Greed, which is, totally fine. That is a card that you don't have to worry about, and Edison Smurf is just going to discard a Night Assailant with no targets in the grave. And yeah, Viffer off to a very, very strong start here. TD into Pot, into Duo. No monster to play just yet. Just going to set a back row pass. But this is probably a scapegoat deck, so that could just be their turn 1 play. Edison Smurf deep in the hole here. See if they can dig their way out, or if Viffer on this control deck will just kind of grind out a victory from here. But we're going to get Insta Trap Dust Shoot. Edison Smurf's hand is not that amazing. Only Dust Shoot targets are T-Drag and a Tribe Infecting Virus. Viffer going to send back the T-Drag. I think that makes sense. Especially if you just have an out to Tribe in hand. Might as well deal with one of the main value engines of the Turbo list. Rest of the hand is Upstart Goblin and Trap Dust Shoot. So actually pretty solid into Dust Shoot here, because you can just play the Upstart and have an unknown. Question here is if you want to get aggro early on and go normal Tribe attack. Probably you just play the Upstart and then reevaluate from there. It's definitely too early on, I think, to go for the tribe beatdown plan because Viffer almost definitely has an answer to it in their hand. Especially because they're not sending it back, right? And then they're choosing the T-Drag. So Edison Smurf is just going to have to try and delay here until they draw into some more stuff. Trap Dust Shoot will help with that. They'll be able to see what Viffer's playing, rip out their best card, or the best monster, I should say. But definitely quite the uphill battle here, getting hit with Duo plus Shoot this early on. Now, Viffer potentially had an opportunity to go Duo and then Shoot. They went, or sorry, just Shoot first and then Delinquent Duo. I think most people, or a lot of people, favor doing that against Turbo specifically. Because as we saw in the first game, Viffer fired off one of the least impressive Delinquent Duos of all time because the opponent's hand had double Thunder Dragon and, unbeknownst to Viffer, also a Sinister Serpent, meaning that there was almost zero chance they were going to get any sort of value off of that duo. So what Dust Shooting first does is it allows you to strip out the Sinister Serpents, the Night Assailants, the Thunder Dragons before you duo, so it guarantees or makes it more likely that you get solid value off of the duo. Viffer here didn't get punished for going for this order because they just got the full value off of duo, and then the opponent still had monsters in hand for Dust Shoot to get value as well. But that is something to consider when you're playing against pretty much Chaos Turbo specifically, because they're so insulated against, or they can be so insulated against Delinquent Duo a lot of the time. It can be good to Dust Shoot first before you duo, just to make sure the duo gets more value. Either way, though, T-Drag will get sent back. Edison Smurf just going to fire off this upstart here. See what they draw into. They have the choice of getting aggro with Tribe here, but I would probably doubt it. They're going to go T-set pass, so kind of signaling that they drew a new monster that isn't the Tribe, but it could be something a little bit sneaky. So yeah, Viffer doesn't 100% know what any of these cards are. But it's pretty likely that that's not the Tribe that's set. Dust Shoot will come out, of course. We'll see what Viffer is rocking in their hand. Yeah, so it looks like Edison Smurf did draw another monster. They're holding the Tribe in hand. They see an interesting one. They know about double TD. They see Kaiku, Breaker, Sook as Dust Shoot targets. And then double meta. So actually, Viffer, not too much going on. If Edison Smurf, like, if they found set Spy here, that would be pretty insane. That'd be pretty perfect here. I don't think Tsukiyomi does anything at this point in time. You probably just send back the Kaiku, because that seems like the most annoying monster to deal with. Kaiku or Breaker, I think, are the obvious choices here. I would probably prefer the Kaiku, just because if they find a way to start banishing our stuff, that's going to suck really hard. Whereas Breaker, we can decently play around, I think. Yeah, and sending back the Kaiku, yeah, I definitely agree with that. And now you know your opponent is kind of bricked for the most part. Just not really that great of a hand. And Viffer's just going to pass. Interesting. So not even going for, I guess, holding the Breaker in hand because they don't want to just have a 1900 vanilla. They want to wait until they can get value off of the Breaker, ability to remove back row. This will give Edison Smurf, if they do have a flip here and they draw into like Tsukuyomi, they can start getting a little bit of value. So that's kind of interesting. I feel like you might as well just summon Breaker attack because your opponent knows you have the Breaker in hand anyway, so it's not like holding it is going to keep them on their toes or anything, because they can just play around it. So I feel like you don't really lose anything by just normaling Breaker attacking here, right? And then you can kill whatever this is. I mean, if it's like Night Assailant, that kind of sucks. If it's Sangan, it kind of sucks because then Edison Smurf can grab Tsukuyomi. But besides that, I mean, I guess you do know that there's Tribe in hand as well. So if it is just like Sinister and you go beat over the Sinister, they re-grab it and then they go normal summon Tribe, whatever. But that's also not the end of the world, right? Because you're just up so many cards. So I feel like you probably want to remove Edison Smurf's like big plays to regain advantage, which would involve this monster sticking around and applying pressure and maybe comboing with the Tsukuyomi. And like I'm saying, I don't think there's a lot of point in holding the Breaker because Edison Smurf knows about it. So obviously let me know what you guys think in the comments, but I feel like this is a good chance for Viffer to at least try and get a little bit aggressive. Edison Smurf here. Yeah, they do have Gravekeeper Spy, so attacking with the Breaker wouldn't have really done too much, but it would have prevented them from getting hit this turn, at the very least. It would have lulled out. And they're just going to go double attack mode Spy, so getting pretty aggressive here, even though they know Viffer has, like, Breaker in hand to kill a single Spy. I mean, I guess that was going to happen anyway, so you might as well just go for maximum damage here. But reminder, this would not have been allowed if Viffer just summoned the Breaker, right? So Viffer will get hit for 2,400. Edison Smurf, let's see what they drew into. Just going to pass. Okay. Is there a world where you summon the tribe there as well? Just to get in for 16 more? Probably not, because it's not close to killing them. And it'll just die to Tsukiyomi, I guess. But then if Viffer plays the Suk, then they're going to take 12 on the crackback. But Viffer could just summon Breaker and kill the tribe, yeah. So I like holding the tribe here. I like getting aggressive with the spies. Viffer here has a little bit of aggression to deal with out of Edison Smurf. They have plenty of cards in hand to do it. But anytime Edison Smurf, when they're this far behind, they can chip in for some damage, they're going to love that. Because that's kind of their only way back into this game, is if they can find a couple big turns of aggression to kill out Viffer before they can just grind them out of this game. Yeah, we're going to see the Breaker come down now. Kill a Spy. Makes total sense. This also is pretty safe against Tribe, right? Because Edison Smurf would be killing their own Spy with the Tribe effect. But yeah, I like the play out of Viffer. Just get the big boy on the field. Like I said, probably should have done that last turn, but better late than never. Edison Smurf finds another Upstart Goblin, okay? And then finds Pot of Greed. Okay, so they're slowly grinding their way back into this one, finding their good stuff. And then they're just going to go Spy to defense, set a monster, set a back row pass, but suddenly card advantage isn't looking as bad as it was previously. Viffer kind of has fake card advantage because they have 2 Thunder Dragons in hand. So things are looking decently solid here for Edison Smurf now. Now they also just set a back row into Breaker here. So kind of a mind game of is it chainable or is it not? If you're Viffer, you're probably not going to use, or I guess force it out maybe. It is just going to be Ring. Ring will deal 1,600 to both players. I'm not sure if Ring was super duper necessary there, especially into the known Breaker, but I guess you might as well just trade 1-for-1 with the Breaker, and it makes any other set cards, any other backer that you draw later on a little bit better, because now you don't have to worry about Breaker anymore. So I guess that's the idea. Ooh, and then, so in that case, it's actually totally fine. You get to trade 1-for-1 and also get a Dark Engrave. So Breaker actually providing huge value here for Viffer. Got to kill a Spy, got to trade 1-for-1 with a Ring, and then became the Dark Engrave to turn on Chaos. If Viffer is just going to slam down the Sork, we can go Sork banish the Spy. Summoning it in attack position is a little bit risky against Turbo, because Edison Smurf does have, like, Crash Faith potential plays here to get it into the grave and summon their own Chaos. Oh, no, but we do just have Tsukiyomi here. Okay, yeah. So nice play by Viffer. Sork will end the turn in defense, preventing any sort of Crash plays. And you didn't see knock or anything when you dust shoot it earlier. And they could definitely have drawn knock. I guess we know the hand is what is the hand? Do we know the hand at all? Oh yeah, we know the hand is probably Tribe and an Unknown. Unless this set is Tribe, but that would be insane. So we know the hand is Tribe Unknown, in which case I think this play makes a little bit more sense. They could have knock, but it's a little bit unlikely, and you don't want them crashing into stuff. Tsukiyomi can come down here, attack this sub-monster, which is just a Dekoichi. That'll cycle for a card. Not to the end of the world, but good to just keep Edison Smurf's monsters off the field. This also, setting it, kind of plays around Tribe a little bit. Edison Smurf could just go normal summon Tribe, crash into the face down Sork, main phase 2, pop it, but that will cost them one of the cards in hand, and Viffer could be protecting that with any sort of back row here. Mirror Force does it, Ring does it, Raigeki Break does it. Edison Smurf does have a couple fresh new cards here, but they are, once again, still quite far behind. Despite even resolving that pot, Viffer just had enough answers to things. Sork getting the plus, of course. Edison Smurf is going to go. So they did, looks like they top deck knock because we didn't see them shuffle their hand. So pretty solid top deck there. Gonna banish that Sork. And then we're gonna follow up with set monster, activate Thunder Dragon. Okay, so we know the hand is most likely Tribe double TD. Now they do have a discard outlet for their TD, which is pretty strong. But still Viffer in a pretty commanding position at this point in time. If they can cash in their Thunder Dragons anytime soon, it's going to be pretty insane. See, draw for turn, just draw pass. Okay, so definitely a little bit bricked up here. No targets to summon with their Tsukuyomi. We know they have 2 dead T-Drags in hand. And we know that they have 2 dead Metamorphoses in hand. Yeah, so we have Suk, double T-Drag, double Meta. So they only have like 1 potentially live card here. So Edison Smurf, despite being down card advantage, Viffer really needs to like find a Graceful Charity or something. Otherwise, Edison Smurf can start getting pretty aggressive here. As long as it's like aggression that's safe from Tsukuyomi. And things will look pretty good, I think. Because Viffer just can't really defend against anything with what they have right now. Edison Smurf just going to set a new back row pass, not flipping this up. That means it's got to be either Sinister Serpent or Night Assailant. Makes me lean towards it more likely being Night Assailant because... Or Sinister... Or no. Huh. Both would be good discard fodder for the tribe. Is kind of my point there. So, like, what... Yeah, I guess that's a little bit... Maybe they were just trying to bait out something. But you know what most of your opponent's hand is. So if you were just trying to bait out set monster interaction to like line up something stronger like a Faith, you probably didn't need to wait this long to do it. Maybe it's not going to matter. But interested to see exactly what they said here. Because like Night Assailant as tribe discard fodder is good. Serpent as tribe discard fodder is good. Maybe, I guess it's probably more likely that it's Night Assailant. Because that at least does something when you set it. Whereas Serpent doesn't really... You know what I mean? Unless the plan was like to go tribute summon for T-Drag at some point, but then you just like drew another monster that you would prefer to set. So, but yeah, I still think that probably means that this is Serpent or Night Assailant, right? If we're here, going to draw for turn, just going to set a back row pass, okay? Could always be a bluff set. I think Edison Smurf still has a decent opportunity to get aggressive here. They're going to go flip summon Faith. Wow, so they do have the Faith to resolve. Faith grabbing Pot, and they are right back in this game. Applying tons of pressure. Gets to see 2 new cards. They're going to go Delinquent Duo as well. This is really strong. I mean, you know your opponent has double T-Drag in hand, so it's not as strong as it maybe could be. But getting those out of your opponent's hand is potentially nice to like play around like Raigeki Break or something. Especially if you want to set up... If you have like Tsukuyomi in hand, and you're worried about potential Raigeki Break breaking up the Suk loop, you want to make them have to discard something real to it. So leading out the duo here, even if all it does is hit double Thunder Dragon, could actually be pretty nice. They do just hit a Thunder Dragon. See the other one hit the grave. Cool, so duo just cleaning up those T-Drags. Now, if we have an aggressive play here to potentially force out a Raigeki Break, I really like that. Otherwise, you probably could have just held the duo. No, and all we're going to do is we're just going to go Faith attack for 300. I don't know. Hold duo there might have been a little bit better. I'm going to set another back row pass. They're still going to keep whatever this is face down, which makes me think, once again, it's probably Night Assailant. Because if it was Serpent, you're probably tributing for Thunder Dragon here to apply more pressure, is my guess. And we're going to get end phase MST on this new back row. It hits a Jar of Greed. So Edison Smurf, never lucky, unable to resolve a single jar this game. Not the end of the world, of course. And honestly, trading Jar for MST is totally fine. Viffer here has no back row to deal with, though, if they want to start to stabilize. Let's see what they have. No more Thunder Dragons in hand, so we know about Suk, we know about double meta, and then there's 2 unknowns. Ooh, Kaiku is really strong here. Not sure if they just top deck that or not, but MST to clear out the back row to ensure this Kaiku gets in is a very, very strong play. They can banish a light and a dark from grave, turning off chaos. Floodgate effect is super live as well. This is really nice. Now, this Night Assailant will probably get some value, but anytime you can connect with a Kaiku is just really strong. They're going to go banish Night Assailant and Delinquent, or and Koichi. Yeah, I mean, I guess you couldn't take them off either lights or darks here, so you might as well start working on the darks, because we know Edison Smurf has 2 more lights in hand. So you're more likely to run them out of that first, I guess. Likely going to see the Night Assailant flip come through. Okay, we're gonna go normal summon Breaker first. Is this just a Sinister? If it's Sinister, I just really don't like how they played out a lot of this. But it definitely could be, right? I think it was in the range. I just feel like holding on to your Sinister when you have Tribe in hand is probably pretty good. And there was no real need to bait out any sort of set monster interaction because you know the vast majority of the content of Viffer's hand, and it's unlikely that they're bluff setting knock in this scenario as well. Breaker is going to come through. You have the age-old question of do you want to kill the Kaiku first or pop the back row first? This back row has been around for quite some time, and it's never been tested for Mirror Force. So attacking in would... Well, I mean, I guess you probably want to just attack in anyway. If it's Mirror Force, it's Mirror Force. Because if it is Mirror Force and you pop it, then you still just die to the Kaiku regardless. So you might as well just try and kill the Kaiku here. If they have an out for it, they do, and it's not the end of the world. Oh, Torrential is just going to come down. Okay. So Viffer getting probably 2 for 1 here, because the set is likely got to be that Sinister Serpent, right? Yeah, and it is just that Serpent. So Viffer here needing to protect our Kaiku. I guess you're going -1 here regardless. So you might as well keep your... you might as well keep the pressure away from your opponent as the control deck. So yeah, Viffer kind of forced into that, which is a bit of a shame for them because we know their hand doesn't really have too much going on. So now we know the hand is meta Sook, and I think an unknown. And Edison Smurf, your aggression here got stymied, but you know Viffer doesn't really have a lot going on, so you can, if you have another wave of offense ready here, could be pretty good. We're going to get Trap Dust Shoot here as well. Pretty nice draw out of Edison Smurf. We'll see what both players have in hand. Yeah, Edison Smurf, we knew the hand is double TD Tribe. Viffer, we see the Sook, the double meta, and we see a creature swap and a Dust Shoot of their own. Wow, okay. So, of course, the Tsukuyomi will get sent back. Nothing changes with those double metas. Man, Viffer just bricking pretty hard here. And now with the Sook gone, creature swap becomes a lot worse. You're going to get Trap Dust Shooted next turn, but that's not the end of the world. Yeah, Sook gonna get sent back. This does clear the way for Tribe to now be a threat, so I wouldn't be surprised if Viffer's Shoot just steals away the Tribe. And now you know Viffer's is, once again, pretty completely bricked. Edison Smurf draws for turn. Grab the Serpent, because you're not playing around Duo anyway. Actually, we're just going to skip the Serpent so that you can go to main phase 1 and then discard the Thunder Dragon immediately to protect against... Yeah, so Viffer here, I feel like you getting a little bit greedy, waiting for Edison Smurf to grab the Serpent to fire off the Dust Shoot. I feel like you really needed to just fire off the Dust Shoot, send back the Tribe. Because like you're not going to send back the Serpent anyway. You have no outs to the Tribe, and that's a 3-turn clock. So Viffer here, getting a little bit cute. Now Edison Smurf can just go immediately normal summon Tribe here in main phase 1, because they have priority to do things. And that's going to be really strong. Okay. Yeah, if you go to main, he gets to summon first. Yes. Okay. Edison Smurf being a homie. I mean, it's ladder. There's nothing really at stake here. But yeah, Viffer, unaware of how exactly priority works when you enter a new phase, specifically the main phase. And yeah, so doing what they should have done the entire time. We're going to get Dust Shoot here. Send back the Tribe, most likely. We'll see if Edison Smurf drew anything good for turn. They drew Snatch Steal, so not super useful right now, but the Tribe is going to get sent back. Now that you're still in standby phase, and this is why this sequencing is important, because Viffer is forced to use the Dust Shoot in standby phase before Edison Smurf can go summon a monster. And now that the Dust Shoot was used in standby phase, you can just re-grab your Sinister Serpent before moving on into the main phase. So, pretty nice stuff here for Edison Smurf. You can go grab the Serpent, go to main phase 1. I think you're just going to go normal summon Serpent attack, and then set up for Tribute Summon for Thunder Dragon on a future turn. It's probably the plan. They're going to go set Serpent. I don't really see the... I mean, actually, yeah, set Serpent is important so you don't just die to BLS. So never mind. The 300 damage is not worth the potential to die to BLS. Ignore me. Also, getting banished by Sork would suck too, of course. Yeah, so set Serpent, definitely the play here. Then you're going to pass. Biffer goes draw pass. Sure, Edison Smurf. Tribute summon for Thunder Dragon might just be the action here unless you drew something better. That's what we'll see. Get in for 16. This is a nice 3-turn clock. And we're just going to pass here, but applying a lot of pressure. Biffer very much on the back foot. That just has these 2 dead Metamorphosis in hand the entire game. Has only drawn level 4 or tribute monsters, so never had a chance to really get anything on the board. I guess there's Sork being outed as well, right? Let's see. Ooh, they found a tribe of their own, so we're going to go tribe discard, finally finding use for one of these dead metas. Pop this Thunder Dragon, get in for 32, or get in for 16. And now Edison Smurf actually is facing down lethal on board. And, I mean, Sinister can just block here. So Viffer would need to have another threat. But still a little bit scary for Edison Smurf here. If they don't have an out to this tribe. Oh, well, yeah, I guess we do just have Snatch Steal on the tribe. Right. Yeah, I mean, I guess Viffer didn't have a choice. No point in, like, setting tribe. But yeah, we knew about the Snatch Steal the whole time. Snatch will come down, steal the tribe. Oh, and then we just have Sork for game. Okay, cool. Yeah. So well played there by Edison Smurf. Gonna take down this series 2-0. Chaos Turbo against Chaos Control. Game 1, they just got super aggressive right off the bat. Went first. Viffer never really got their footing. And Turbo just kind of ran over the control player. They never found, like, a scapegoat or anything to buy time. Game 2, Viffer was just super bricked basically the whole time. Hand of dead Thunder Dragons, hand of dead Metamorphoses. This is one of the risks that you run when you play Chaos Control. It is a mashup deck, so sometimes you might draw incompatible halves. You might have Thunder Dragons with no way to cash them in. You might have Metamorphoses with no good targets. That's exactly what happened. Just had no plays, and Edison Smurf didn't even have a particularly strong hand themselves, but was able to at least mount some sort of offense turn after turn. Right, there's lots of like tribute summon for Thunder Dragon stuff going on. Tribe as a beater, as you can see here, thanks to Snatch Steal. And that just ended up being enough for them to take it down. 2-0, clean victory here for Edison Smurf, maintaining their top or near top of the leaderboard status here against the challenger. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Hope you enjoyed this one. I'll catch you guys next time.